Hello, I'm Sean.
I'm Pauline.
We're weirdos, reviewing books.
Yeah, we're gonna review books and popular culture on this channel.
Because
we're
that's
artists
the shit we
and
like.
writers, and reading is one of our hobbies.
That's our main hobby, reading, watch movies, talk about writing, talk about reading, talk about art.
So, here we're gonna talk about Neil Gaiman, and gonna talk about Neverwhere. The book we both read.
Yeah, I read it in English.
And I read it in Russian.
Tell her who the translator is. They want to know who the translator is.
I read it in Russian translation, and the translator's name is very funny. There are two translators, and the translation is very good. And usually it's very good when they do it from English into Russian.
Okay. Like we'll give a little summary. There's this dude. What's his name? Richard Mayhew. Richard.
Yeah.
Richard Mayhew. Dick Mayhew. Dick. Why is that funny? That's his name. Dick Mayhew lives in London above ground because it's a very English book, I would say. If you've ever been to London, you haven't, but I have.
I haven't, but I read Sherlock Holmes, so. And Harry Potter.
It's like a very English book, right? And so this dude Dick goes underground. He gets in this enters this magical underworld, which is kind of
red people and all this like kind of magical
stuff,
creatures.
Right? It's like a descent into the subconscious, into a magical realm, and he has to choose in some way between his completely ordinary, banal office life.
Yeah, and
shitty girlfriend.
What irritates me, he still considers choosing the ordinary life, the girlfriend that is gonna dump him for some rich dude because she's
she's a gold digging whore, right? That's why. But it is a facet of Gaiman that he writes pretty weak male characters and strong female characters. So the female protagonist, Dor, is very strong and saves his ass over and over. Yeah. And he's a pretty weak dude, but that builds up tension at the end. And there's a spoiler alert. At the end, he grows a spine a bit, and if he hadn't been so weak the whole time, you wouldn't be believable.
At least it's satisfying because in the end, he becomes a man and he chooses the.
Does he?
Well, yes, and you remember he gets a knife and he stops being such a pussy. He goes to his work and he gets a raise because he's not a pussy, and then he gets a new apartment.
He's a little less of a pussy.
Yeah.
He gets a knife.
Yeah.
Right, so.
But like his life is so boring in London. It's very, very good. I mean, it feels very good when he returns to this underworld.
He rejects his banal life.
Yeah, I like when he just takes the knife, cuts a door, an image of a door, and starts banging on the door and
going back into. I'm irritated. I guess I am irritated by the cons in every modern novel, and certainly all of most of Gaiman's novels that I've read. There's always like he's saved by the huntress. He's saved by. It's always a weak male who gets moderately stronger at the end, and is always saved by these heroic females, which is some postmodernist crap you people love,
and
right? Some feminist thing.
Lamia almost kills him.
Oh yes, right. So it's like I don't know if these are constantly afraid of women in these novels, but every Gaiman novel. I don't know. You haven't read American Gods, which is a great book, but there's a guy in the shadows, pretty strong. He's kind of flat as a character, but not so fearful of females. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff with gender that goes on in all of these kind of modern novels of that, what do you want to call it, style, genre? We've gotten very fucking far from heroic storytelling, right? This is not Beowulf or...
No, but I like the aesthetics of the book, and like the creatures they have, the rat people, the villains, Mr. Krupp and Mr. Vampire. By the way, I was a little surprised because I think it was the first Gaiman book I read. I was a little surprised that he writes it with violence and sex and stuff.
Yeah, you love violence. So American Gods is much dirtier. There's a chick that eats people with her vagina, which I hate when that happens. right? But no, it's great. And Mr. Krupp and Mr. Vandemar are wonderfully evil. They're very cruel and...
like the first scene, they eat puppies.
Who doesn't eat puppies? It's a joke. We don't eat puppies. Those are Koreans. No, hey, no. We live in Russia. We don't eat puppies here.
I don't.
I know.
About you people.
Yeah, okay, well.
Anyway, but I like this book. I like the aesthetics. I like the plot. I like my favorite character is the huntress. And
because you think you're some sort of warrior chick. Is that why?
I'm not. She is. But she has a spear and she throws the spear into the beast. I love it. And
yeah,
she
she's
dies
a great
in
character.
battle.
She's a great character. She dies in battle like some sort of
like she's the
know,
most
berserker
memorable
or
character
something.
to me.
I don't know. I like Dora very much. I think they're all
like
memorable.
weak cheeks.
Yeah, I'm married to you.
Hey!
I'm married to you, aren't I? Anyway, where were we? It's a great book, though. One of my favorite Gaiman, but probably my favorite Gaiman book is this book. And I love Gaiman. There's something I find, I want to say, light about him. There's some, it's very entertaining. There's no plot holes in his writing. But, you're not digging into the rich loam of myth or religion in any way. And even his books with mythical gods are pretty light, funny stuff. And, that's great for entertaining. It's not something you can read in a night.
Yeah,
right?
and I actually did read it in the night.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
The train.
It's not. They're books like if you get into Solzhenitsyn, Dostoevsky, you're sitting there page after page, struggling. With this, you can churn through it. It's entertaining and.
Yeah, it's very fun, and so far it is my favorite gaming book. I haven't read a lot. I have read this one. I have read Stardust and Coraline. And I know Anansi Boys and American Gods.
We'll do Anansi Boys when you read it because it's a great book.
Yeah.
But I mean, all in all, I'd say Gaiman's a hell of a writer, a fantastic writer. If you like that kind of genre.
we just said that it's light. It's kind of light.
Well, I didn't say light. Hey, sometimes you want pizza. Sometimes you want cheap beer, right? You don't always want to dine heavy, do you? Why is that funny? I didn't say anything funny.
No, it's not.
Anyway,
I like the book.
I like the book too. We're fucking Sean and Pauline. Book reviewers, weirdos, artists and writers. Turn the